on, but that's okay. All right, so hi, I'm so happy we got to do this tonight. I know Rachel and everyone, Lisa, Jess are coming back from Honduras, so this is going to be so good. I can't wait for those to like watch the recording. But Bethany is going to interview someone who is literally killing it, you guys. Chanel is thebomb.com, and she has so many amazing tips. So just make sure you guys have your pens and papers out ready to go, because you're not going to want to miss the tips that she did. So Bethany, you can go ahead, take it away.
Hi, sorry, I was trying to press unmute. Hi guys, how is your night going? Chanel just got so embarrassed. I watched her get so flustered when you were giving her those beautiful comments. Okay. Anyways, I've been wanting to do this for a couple weeks now. I know it's easy to start. I don't know. It's easy to like get hyped up from like Diamond and above and hear like all these amazing leaders that we're all making all this money and like all this stuff. But at the end of the day, we all started in your shoes. And sometimes it's hard for you guys to see that. Like sometimes it's hard for you guys to imagine that people that are Diamond and above now making, 4-figure paychecks at one point were in the exact same shoes that you guys were in, and that you all can get where we are. And I know that gets like a little scary sometimes. So I just want to interview Chanel. There's a ton of people on here that I could honestly interview because there's so many people killing it this month. You guys are doing so awesome. We're so proud of you. And we're really proud of how well you guys stepped up. Why Rachel and Jess and Lisa and everyone was like out in Honduras. Like everyone could have just kind of been like, oh, well, the big dogs are out, so we're just gonna kind of take a week off and just like chill. But no, like we killed it, and you guys, they have seen it. Rachel has seen it. She's been like, you guys, thank you so much for like just showing up for me when I was gone. And so I'm excited about that, to show her that, we can do this without her. I mean, not that we have to do it without her, but that, she can take that time to step back sometimes. So anyways, Chanel's unmuted. Perfect. So first of all, I just want you to tell just a little bit about your story. Just keep it short. You don't have to go into like the long version, and then I'll start asking you some questions.
Okay, perfect. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So in April, I was going to be turning 26, and I told myself that I needed something new in my life because I was a new mom of 2 babies in the last 2 years. So I have a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old. And I was suffering from postpartum depression pretty bad. And I was like, something needs to change. So I went back to work, and that did not help. Serving at nights, giving up my weekends. So actually on April 17th, Bethany reached out to me to do a host-to-post. Oddly enough, that was the first time she talked to me, even though we had been Facebook friends for 9 years. But that was the first time she talked to me. So I was like, hey, I actually want to lose weight, so let's talk about it. So then I became a loyal that next day. And then in June, I had lost 30 pounds, and I was like, okay, I need to sell this. So I started selling it, and I quit my serving job, and I stay home now full time, and I do this when I can. That's really
That's so awesome. Okay, how am I your leader and I did not know that you quit your serving job? Like, I didn't know that you were doing that. How did I not know that? You guys, this is freaking awesome. I knew that you stayed home, but I didn't realize that you were able to quit a job. So cool. Okay, perfect. So you get to the point that you're joining me or whatever. Have you done like marketing before? Like, do you have any experience in this? Like stuff like that.
Okay, so my first job ever was a manager at Blockbuster back when that was a thing. So I had always been in customer service, but right out of high school, I started selling Mary Kay, and it didn't work for me. It just wasn't like a market that I was good at. I don't know anything about applying makeup, so I don't know why I thought I could. But then in the last 3 years, like about 3 years ago, I started selling Pure Romance, and that didn't work for me either. So I was kind of like hesitant about selling something again like this because everyone on my Facebook had already seen it, so I didn't know how I could market. But it worked better this time around for me.
Yeah, and I remember that being one of the biggest things, you guys, when she first started, and this is such a good reminder to anyone that's feeling like maybe their Facebook is like not working for them, like they can't get people to post up, like they're not getting much reaction or anything like that. You guys, she basically had to start over and like just keep adding people because people at this point, she's been in 2 network marketing companies. They're like, dude, like, what's your new marketing company that you're in, and that's hard, but she didn't let that stop her. Or when people were being negative, because there were people that were negative to you. I remember when you first started, or people being like, really, Chanel, you're doing something else now. And it's like, she didn't let that stuff get her down. She just was like, yeah, I'm doing something else. Let me tell you about it, So basically, how do you feel like this company has been different for you than those other ones to make you be more successful and stuff like that?
Well, I strongly believe being a product of the product really helps. Because you see success stories on everything. Like, you're always being like fed a sob story about something or one another, So showing my before and afters, or saying how like something like the keto coffee, how it makes me feel, and I can cut out my 9 cups of coffee a day for just 1 cup of coffee,
Right.
My way I've been able to turn my market around, because everyone's tired of seeing me post stuff about selling something new, is just honestly telling my story about how I feel about things. And people are like, oh, I want to know more information about that.
Yeah, so I want you to go a little bit into how you, and I was going to try to pull it up here. Yes, I think this is it. No, it's not. I'm going to try to find it. But there is, you guys, when she first started out, she was using a certain group page. Will you kind of go into that and how you were like posting on that and stuff like that?
Oh, okay. So I had posted, are you talking about my before and after?
Oh, yeah, I just found it.
Okay. So I posted in there about how I don't think that posting in like other sales groups or stuff like is a good way to like market your group, but it's a good way to find people. So I had posted my thing, and I didn't post it as a sales post. I said, I'm finally feeling better, because I was really active in that group, and they knew that I was struggling through things. And
it was in a mom's group, so you guys know. It's called Mama Love.
Yeah, so I was posting in that group often. And so I was building followers through there just by my daily posts, like asking questions about my kids and stuff like that. And then I finally posted about how I lost a bunch of weight and how I'm starting to feel better about myself. And I had over 250 friend requests off of just that post from another group.
You guys, 555 likes on this post and 63 comments. I just want you guys to think that 555 likes and 63 comments. That's nuts. And you guys, she really didn't post. And I'm going to try to she posted basically a picture of like her just feeling good about herself now. And if I can get it, it's like a really short thing. And it just says, I've lost a total of 22 pounds in 6 weeks, and I'm freaking pumped. 2 babies in 2 years, both with C-section. I've struggled with my weight my whole life, and I'm finally on my path I've been looking for. I just wanted to toot my own horn for a half second. Asterisk, this is not a sales post, but I'm going to share it with you what I've been doing and what's been working for me. You guys, people basically saying, great job, send me a PM sent, how, PM sent, way to go, you look fabulous, tell me how, you're gorgeous, PM sent. It's just like, you guys, this is crazy. Like, why aren't we all doing this? I still haven't done it. I know that she did it. I still haven't done it.
The thing I learned from that the most is like, you're still going to get people who are like, well, I wasn't looking for something to buy. Like, I was just wondering what you're doing. And you have to remember, like, if you friend request them, half the time they don't unfriend you. So they're still watching your stuff. So even though they were a no today, they could be a yes tomorrow. And that's what I constantly tell myself, that you may have an attitude about how I talked to you before, but I'm just going to let you watch what I'm doing, and I'm just going to keep interacting with you. And I've had probably 4 or 5 people turn around in the last couple weeks and became loyals after they've told me no once.
Right. And that's one thing, and is awesome about how you've really worked your business from the beginning, because you guys, Chanel's never been, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've never been like a cold message type. You're not really like,
I don't
doing attraction marketing basically since the beginning, guys, being a product of the products. And constantly, you guys, she goes live almost every single day. If you go to her page, there's a live almost every single day. Her kids are in it. She's making her coffee. She's talking about the shake that she's making. She's making, talking about her Thermofy X. Her and her husband are doing, or her and her boyfriend are doing the cleanses together. Like, she always is talking about product, but in a way that it's relatable and not salesy. So if you guys just like go over, obviously don't everyone go flood her with friend requests, but if you guys just go over to her page, you guys can see what she's doing and kind of get some ideas of like, okay, how can I turn these products into attraction marketing instead of salesy. And that's one thing that I love that you've done since done from the beginning. So right now we're all trying to catch up and learn how to do attraction marketing, even you've literally been doing it from the beginning, which is awesome. So basically just tell me how you work your business every single day. Just kind of walk me through the steps. Because I know this is one thing that you've struggled with, trying not to work it 23 hours out of the 24 days.
Yeah, timing is bad for me. I'm not good about just sitting down and working for an hour. It literally takes me all day to do this. So I've learned that my stories are viewed more likely late at night. So I have a lot of night owls. So what I did for about 4 or 5 days is every other day I had posted my story either at 11 p.m. and then I had deleted it by 4 or 5 in the afternoon and posted a new one. And I just kept trying to post my stories at different times throughout the day just to see when I would get the most views. And I went from only getting 40 to 50 views on my story throughout the entire day to 200 views because I started posting it late at night. So I've noticed that going through my story, instead of clogging up my feed with posts, I just post constantly on my story throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And that's where I get most of my interactions. So then I don't really message people unless they viewed my story, because if they viewed all 4 or 5 of my sales slides, then they're interested in what I'm posting. Whether they said they wanted more information or not, they are still paying attention to me. So then I'll message them and just be like, hey, I've noticed that you viewed my story. Are you interested in learning more about what I'm doing or what my product is or whatever the post may be for the day? But instead of constantly sending out 40 to 50 messages a day, I just send those that have viewed my entire story. And I've noticed that that's helped me a lot more.
Right. I want you guys to hear what she just said, because if you're new to Instagram or Facebook stories and you guys don't really know how it works, you guys can look when you swipe up, you can see how many views you've had, and you can tell that your first slide will have a lot more views than the very last slide. So then you'll know who actually made it through your whole thing. And sometimes it is that them just sitting there and clicking through. You are going to have those people, but there are some people that are actually thoroughly interested, and they didn't just hit the swipe over to go to the next person. They took the time to go through your whole story. So make sure that when you are looking for people to message, you don't look at the person who messaged who viewed it the very first time. Go and look and make sure that they viewed it all the way through.
Yeah. I also try to always add somebody throughout my day on my phone, so mm-hmm. I'm guilty of picking up my phone and just mindlessly scrolling, but I try to make a conscious decision to constantly, every time I pick up my phone, to at least add 3 to 5 people or go interact with 3 to 5 people. Even if I am just endlessly scrolling because I'm sitting in a waiting room or waiting in the drive-thru, mm-hmm. I still always try to add people.
I want you to talk just a minute too about how you set up yourself and your team for your vacation that you went on last weekend too. And this is a great reminder, guys, because we got in this business for a certain reason, and that wasn't to be on our phones 24/7. It was mm-hmm. to have more time to, go on vacations, to be able to take our kids to school and pick them up, or if you're a college student, you wanted more time to just be able to focus and study. There's reasons why you joined this business, and it was usually for more time is what it comes down to. And a lot of times we end up spending more time doing this business and taking more time away from than what we were doing before. So I kind of want you to just kind of go into that for just a second. I know I didn't tell you I was going to ask you that, but go for it.
I didn't have that one written down. So I was tired of giving up my nights and weekends to go serve tables, and my kids are still babies, so it's I want to be there for those milestones. So I took the decision to build my team rather than to build my loyals. So I really marketed trying to grow my group, and I called them the Humble Tribe, because I want them to all just be happy with what they got and work harder for what they want. And so I got the fast starts, which I just saved. And then I was able to help all of my new distributors get their shopping sprees, which they didn't sign any loyals on their own, but I helped them get to where they needed to be so they could become a product of the product. Because to me, that's the most important part, is being confident in what you're saying. And if you don't know anything, you can't sell anything. It's just like how a confused mind says no. I mean, a confused mind's also going to give up too, because they don't know what they're doing. So my motivation was to get my fast starts, get my loyals, and build my group so that way they could do what I'm doing. So I ended up taking my family with my fast starts to Colorado for Labor Day weekend, and we went to go look for houses and apply for jobs because eventually by the end of the year I will be diamond and I will be moving back to Colorado. So here we go.
That's so amazing. And then talk about how you still chose to take some time for you guys, but you still worked your business. Because I love that, because I feel like some people don't feel like they can, you know, if you go on vacation, you're like, oh, well, I still have to be working my business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we had an unplugged vacation, which my boyfriend didn't want me to be on my phone because he knew I was working really hard to get to my Ruby promotion, but he knew that I also needed time to spend with family. So we did an unplugged vacation. So I took 45 minutes every day, whether it was 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and I took pictures. And then with my time I had remaining, I posted on my story. And then I posted one big post at the end of my vacation about how it couldn't have been possible unless I had this opportunity fall in my lap. And at the time, it was during the double fast starts, so I was trying really hard to get a group of girls to join my team because they've just been waiting for that. They didn't have the money or they always had an excuse. So I was using what I was doing at the end of the month to motivate people to join my team. And it may not have I may not have signed that one person that wanted to join, but they're still in contact with me. So it's just constantly reminding people, like, you can do this too. It's super simple. Like, I'm an average person. Like, I'm not just a scam artist. Like, I'm doing this because I'm bettering my situation. And a lot of people want to see that things can be better for them.
Okay, lastly, because I know that you guys think that Chanel seems super positive and motivational, but y'all, this girl gets down on herself super, super easily, as I know a lot of you guys do, and I'm always having to be her cheerleader. So I just want you to talk about a little bit like what you do for self-development, stuff like this, and talk about the first time I asked you about self-development. Do you remember?
No.
Oh, okay, you guys, I messaged her and I was like, girl, you are getting down on yourself every single day. She was just talking about how, you know, like one day, like she was just like, oh my gosh, like, yes, I'm in this. The next day, and she's like, I think everyone's quitting. Like, you know, it's just like so back and forth. And I was like, girl, what have you done for self-development today? And she was like, yeah, I know you're always talking about self-development, but I don't even know what that means. So I'm just always skipping that part and going to the next. And I'm like, that is the one part you cannot skip. And so I sent her a Rachel Hall's video, and ever since then, I'm pretty sure she's addicted to her. So just talk to them about a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so yes, I am now a fan of Rachel Hollis because of Bethany. And so yes, I'm a negative Nancy sometimes, but aren't we all? But we have to. So my self-development every day is I make my coffee in the morning, and then I sit down and either read a chapter or in one of my books, whatever book it is, and then or I listen to Rachel Hollis. And we do it in the car. Every day we go to lunch with Jesse at Kawasaki. We meet up with him for lunch. And on the way home, it's nap time. So I play Rachel Hollis in the car, and it just puts the kids to sleep, but it motivates me during nap time to get some work done. That's probably
oh my gosh, I love it so much.
I do, yeah.
You're raising little entrepreneurs in your car. I love it.
I am. They're my sales.
I seriously love it. Okay, well, I don't have any more questions for you, but thank you so much, you guys. I am so thankful that you guys all listened super intently. I was watching all your guys' faces, and Chanel, I hope you know that a lot of them were paying really good attention. We're like having lots of aha moments. I was watching them. So thank you so much, and I love you.
Love you.
Okay, bye. All right, Jill's turn.
Hello, can you hear me okay? Okay, Beth, unmute yourself real quick if you can.
What's up?
Is she on? Not you, the other Beth. Beth.
Oh, I always forget that. There's two Beths.
Let me see if she's unmuted. I think she's unmuted. Beth, are you unmuted?
I think so. Hold on just a second.
Yes, you're good. I can hear you.
Am I good? Okay, perfect.
Yes. Okay, you guys. Beth is going for Ruby 2, and she's been in for 3 months, I think.
I started.
And she actually was a customer first, and then she decided to jump in. She signed up underneath of Sam. You guys probably know Sam. She's a diamond leader also. And after her first month, she like fell in love with the product. So she's like, okay, I'm going to sell it. So Beth, her first month, signed almost 100 BVM loyals. Do you want to kind of tell them a little bit how you got all those loyals like right away? Like her first month, I was like, this girl is going to go diamond in like no time. It was amazing.
Well, basically, I guess I knew really fast and quick that I needed to start messaging people like crazy, and I did. And that's basically what I did. Was I just went through my friends list first, actually, before I added anybody at all, and just went through those 400 or 500 people that I had on there and just started messaging and going away, like working my way down, obviously starting with the top 20, 25 people that I knew I was close to, then just starting with starting at like the letter A, like with all the names with the letter A, and just went and worked all the way through and just message, had people throw up post to post for me. And then through that is how I ended up getting my customers, was from obviously them putting up the host to post for me, and it just kind of built from there. So
yeah, how many host to post up a day, like for your like daily your like 6 lists, your non-negotiables? How many do you have on there? I know you get a lot out like every single day.
Well, I mean, this month I'm getting better at it, and I guess for me, like where my comfort zone is I was for a little more, obviously, before I went back to my full-time job. But when I first started, it was like at least 7 to 10. Right now it's slowed down a little bit more, so I'm trying at least 5 to 6 a day. But if you can get like at least 5 to 10 in a day, I feel like that's good.
Yeah, that's really good. So we talked a little bit when you first started about like when you would message people, you would honestly build a relationship before you like just cold message, because that turns people off. Can you kind of like explain how you did that? Like, because you would talk to them for a few days and then you'd ask them to do a host to post, or if they would ask you about products or whatever.
Correct. So basically just sparking up the conversation like, hey girl, or using, by their first name, like, hey Grace, or hey Chanel or Janelle or whatever, whatever their name was, just throwing out a few names. And just, how's your day going? And then just spark up for, that conversation. And, it might have been within that day, depending on how busy they were, whether I, asked them if they wanted to throw a host to post up, or if it could have been a day or two after. So it didn't seem like it was like right away. Like I was trying to get to know them first, it just depended on their comfort level. And you can kind of tell like if somebody's going to open up to you right away or not. Some people are more to want to, and some people aren't. And, if I was going through my friends list and by the second or third message, if I didn't hear anything from them, I just completely took them off if I wasn't like really close to them, because I felt like that way I could expand my social network better, and they weren't taking a spot of possibly someone else that would want the spot of being a customer or throwing up a host to post. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like basically just cleaning out your friends list and taking off people that aren't going to like buy products from you. So
I do it every day, pretty much.
Yeah. So let's talk about like your non-negotiables every single day. What do you have for like how many people you add on Facebook, how many messages you send, and stuff like that? What do you do for that?
Okay. So like for me, if I can add between at least 25 people is like my goal a day. So adding 25 people to Facebook, Instagram. I'm starting to get more on Instagram. I'm still more comfortable with Facebook, but I'm building Instagram now. And then I guess for like even just taking time for myself, like I'm actually doing listening to a podcast, which is Dr. Charles Stanley, and I feel like he's really good. He talks about God and different parts of the Bible and things like that. So I just start my day off with that. And like I said, adding those people and just making sure, like, if I pick a letter, because I like to pick a letter. So, like, maybe I'll pick A and S for a day, and I'll mark that down, and I'll go through all my friends, like, with whatever 2-3 letters, however many I can fit in with the 2 hours that I put in a day for that is what I do. So I just mark them down, write it in my notebook, and then I know, like, what friends list I went through, or, like, the friends that I went through that letter that I pick. You get what I'm saying? Like, their first name.
Yeah.
So, friends' names or all my, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So your first month in, you didn't sign any distributors, and I remember talking to you. You were like so discouraged. Like you're like, I really want this. Like I need to go Ruby. And I was like, just be consistent with posting. And you guys, she goes live almost every single day and talks about the products. And she's like real and raw. Like you can hear her kids in the background. And she interacts really good with them. And she'll even like go back and comment on her lives. So that'll boost your algorithm. But I want you to talk about how you got boxed for Ruby within like a week. Was it like a week or was it 2 weeks? She signed 4 distributors.
I believe it was in with at least a couple. It was probably 2. Yeah, it was with 2. I just basically, you know, I had those girls that were watching me for, you know, a few months, and it was just being consistent and following up with them and talking to them and liking their posts and just chatting with them. I knew that they were interested, but I didn't want to have them lose interest, obviously. And these were people, most of them that I knew for a long time. And so, like I said, just that consistency of still developing that relationship and trying to be patient, even though it's hard, like, but keep up with talking with them. And it just happened to be that, you know, one of them never said that they would have ever done marketing, like, or done anything like, I mean, like what this is, I guess, is what with selling things, because she's done stuff in the past. And she grabbed a hold of it and she said, this is nothing like any company that I've ever been in. You guys are great, amazing. Like, you guys just, you know, we're there, all there for each other. And that's what it is. Like, we're there just as a friend, not just about the company, but there as a friend. So that's why one of them joined. And then the other couple, a few that joined, they just, like I said, it was just, they were interested, but they were kind of nervous about it. And it's like just the consistency of them seeing how well I was doing, being the product of the product, you know, obviously, and keeping a relationship with them and talking with them.
Yeah. And so you're close with your distributors. You met up with a few of them, like, kind of tell like everybody like what you do. Cause I feel like you have a really good relationship with your distributors, even though some of them aren't really working. She's still putting in that effort, because eventually when they're ready to jump in, like, it took me a little bit to jump in. Some people, it takes a long time. And when they're ready, they know that they have her. So like, kind of tell them what you do. Cause you set up like meetings with them all the time.
Yep. Basically I did, thank you, Sam, for training me, because she trained me on everything on the website and everything like that. So hopping on eSuite, knowing everything. So basically, like, and her teaching me how to, all the charts and everything. So thank you so much, Sam. And so I did individual, each of them I did a Zoom, or I met up in person and we went over everything. Like, I went over the charts. I went over, hey, what's our goals? And it happened to be like all my girls that I have, like, ended up getting another job. Like, they got a second job, like, within, it just happened to be they signed up and then all of a sudden they got another part-time job. And so it kind of stinks because they're having to take more time for that. But I know once they're ready and they're willing to, you know, once I get their parties thrown for them, and that's another thing, is I'm going to throw each of them a party. I did one myself, and then, sorry, my battery was low there. Hold on. Sorry. So I've done one party myself individually. And so I'm going to throw, one of my distributors, Desiree, I'm going to throw hers this month. And then I'm going to throw Haley's the next month. And then Susie, I'm still working on, because there's just been a lot of family stuff going on right now. And so I don't want to push her, and I don't want to push any of them away. So I know, like I said, and like you said, you know, once they're ready to jump in full, like, they're going to do great. And so I'm being consistent with them. I'm keeping that relationship, talking with them. I had one of my distributors come to the party. So she was excited about that because she had the night off. So she came in and just seeing how it was going to go. So.
Yeah. And I feel like once anybody on here, especially if you're new and you don't really know how to do a launch party, or you didn't have a launch party for yourself, I feel like that's a thing we all need to start getting into. You can even do it online or like in person, because you're like letting these people try the products. Like, if you're doing it at your house, you're going to be able to sell your wraps, make some money back. And then you can do giveaways, or like get customers that night and put all their names in a hat and give them something for that. I think it's a really good way to meet the people, to build that relationship, so that they see you in person. And so Beth is going for Ruby, and she was really, really close last month. She almost got it, but this month she's 100% going to get it. But there's one
I am going to get it. I
Yeah.
am getting it. You better
Yes.
best believe it.
And there's one thing I like to tell people when they're going for a promotion, though. So we always focus on getting the loyal customers, but how are you going to grow your business when you're not focusing on distributors too? So like, what I've been doing is, like, every other day, like, one day I'll focus on distributors, the next day I'll be like with loyal customers. So like, what Beth is, she's really consistent with like making a product post and like a personal post, like something about the business every single day. Like, she posts, and she started meal prepping, and she's like sharing that on her page, and people are really interacting. Do you want to kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Of course. Basically, I've been wanting to meal prep for a really long time, and it just so happened this popped up on Facebook, and there was a class for it, and I said, sure, why not? Jumped in and decided to do it. I wanted to, save money and eat healthier, and so I did this, and now that I am getting consistent in it, and I'm not posting as much as what I should be, but the little that I have, working that into my daily life as well, and just posting about that, it has sparked a lot of people's interest. So like my thing is like find something you love, like a hobby or something, or talk about that. Even if it's not just about work, just like find something else to talk about and post on your page, and you're going to get interactions off of that too as well. I'm not saying don't post about that it works. I'm saying like do both, because it's like, it's your life. It's like real life, so.
Yeah. And you want to attract the people that like they get attracted to that. So last thing I want to talk about is when you first started and you asked me questions all the time, you were not scared to reach out, because I'm not the one who signed up. Sam is the one that signed you up, but she was not scared to reach out to me when like Sam was busy or something. But what she did is she watched a lot of trainings on YouTube. So if you guys haven't done that, like I would definitely go over to YouTube. There's so many you guys can look at, like distributor training, posting, attraction marketing, like that. Attraction marketing is like one big thing that we're really working on, because we want to kind of get out of cold messaging, because Facebook has been picking up on it kind of. Beth, did you want to add anything into that, like with the training or anything before we are done with this?
Yeah, basically, I guess like I've done YouTube too as well, like for that. But like just if your customers, just following up with them, or even your distributors, like ask them like, hey, do you need any more like trainings in a specific area? Like, what can I help you in? Like, what can we work on? Like, what do you need help with? I guess. So like taking the extra time for that. But yes, I really need to get on and look more into that as well with the marketing, because I feel like that's really going to help, and just watching more videos and learning like what's going to attract people.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. I think we are done with this. So Lakin, if she's still on here, I don't even see her on here.
Yeah.
You ready?
This is
Feeding her baby.
Yeah, no. Well, no, she's still sleeping. So thanks for sharing your tips, you guys. A couple of things I just want to touch on. Okay, everyone's muted now. Okay, cool. So a couple of things I just want to touch on. I don't know if you guys have picked up, like repetition. You're always going to hear the same things over and over, but in different ways. We all work our business pretty much the same, but those who are having more success, if you just look at them and copy them, in a sense of don't go to their page and copy and paste, but copy the right cat, in the sense of when you see your upline posting about the product or the business or a lifestyle post, when you see them post in general, your mindset should be, okay, I saw them post like that. And if you don't know what to post for that day, you need to just follow their lead. If I post something about the business, I would want my new distributor to post something about the business. Our posts are going to be totally different, you guys, but if they're in the same like consistency as I'm going to be, then they're going to follow suit, and they're going to have that success. So talking about your story and talking about your business, but talking about your life too. I just had a baby, for those of you guys who don't know, on September 3rd. So it's the 8th. I had a baby 5 days ago, and it took a couple days to get back into the swing of things, but here I am. And here's why, because we could make the decision to like let XYZ get in our way. We could make the decision like, oh, my life's just so busy, I don't know how to get a grasp on it. I have 2 kids now, and I nurse literally all day long, you guys, and I have a toddler, so I'm like, what is my life? But my point is I'm making time for my business, because we need this business. We need the income. We need to grow. Like, I want to help my team grow. And so if you have that mindset that no matter what happens, no matter how busy you get, you're going to be successful in the long run, because people see that. And so I was going to share a book with you guys. I'm doing so hot. I was going to share a book with you guys that we were given at the leadership retreat, but I have been like in a different mindset the last 5 days, because, well, before I had my baby, we had a power hour. We were working, we were doing all the things. I sent out so many messages, and then I was like, okay, I just had a baby. I have like 100+ messages I need to respond to, and I felt like I'm behind, even though I mentally hadn't checked out yet. You just have like XYZ things happen in your life, and you're like, I'm behind, and I don't know what to do to like snap out of it. And so I was reading this book earlier. Sorry, I was like, please don't wake up. I was reading this book earlier. So the book is called The 10X Rule. It's by Grant Cardone. And if you guys don't know him, he's super, super wealthy, successful guy. He's written a couple books, but he was talking about, if you want to be all in, and I have a couple of quotes I'm going to share with you guys. If you're going to be all in, you have to be all in. And so the one quote that I was reading today, he said, until you become completely obsessed with your mission, no one will take you seriously. Until the world understands that you're not going away, that you are 100% committed and have complete and utter conviction and will persist in pursuing your project / whatever you're in, you will not get the attention you need and the support you want. And that, I read that quote twice today because I was like, you know what, this could literally apply to so many of us. It could apply to newbies. It could apply to someone that's been in their business for a couple months, and maybe you're like halfway in and halfway out, like you have this I'm just going to try it mindset, or maybe you've been in for a while and you need this business, but you can't quite, like, you haven't quite put in the work it takes to understanding, okay, this is what I should post, or this is what I should do, where you aren't in it as much as you say you're in it. And that's the whole point of the quote. And it spoke volumes to me, because even though I know I'll never leave this business, I've been in this business 2.5 years, and I am a triple diamond. And so most people on my page know that I've been in this business for a while. I'm not going anywhere. But what they need to see for me day in and day out is the consistency, no matter what. And so sometimes it's easy to forget that, no matter how long you've been in the business. But also, if you're new, and I don't know how many people on here are new, you can drop a 1 if you are. If you just signed up like in the last 30 days, like that's what I'm talking about. The last 30 days, maybe even 30 to 60. Sometimes when we join this business, we have this mindset where we're like, okay, I'm going to just try it and see what happens. And we can't do that. You have to decide, okay, the day you join, you paid $100. You better get your $100 back, and you better like make something out of it. Or you could sit there and just be halfway in and halfway out and show everyone, oh, I'm halfway in and halfway out. That's why people think this business doesn't work, because we don't show them that it works. We don't believe it ourselves. We don't put in the consistent effort. We don't do all the things it takes to make a business work, because some parts of us, we don't feel like it's a business. We think, oh, it's a social media thing. It'll be okay. I can do like 10 minutes and I'll be fine. Like 10 minutes a day. Well, you can, and you'll get paid that way. But my point is, if you really want to be a diamond and above, if you really want to pay off your debt, or maybe some of you join and this is just like play money for you, but dream bigger. Don't just think, oh, hair and nails. Think, I want to go on vacation for a week, or like I want to go out of the country for a week, or whatever. I want to be able to take as much time off from my job as I possibly can. Like my boyfriend hasn't had to go back to work, and he won't have to go back to work for a while because of this business. Okay, so that for us to be a family of 4 now is so amazing, and that's literally all that it's about, is dreaming bigger. Like Bethany said in the comments, you have to dream bigger. If you have already reached your goals in this business and you kind of feel stuck, like, okay, I've hit diamond, now I don't even know what my business can do for me. That was my problem for a while. I didn't know what my business could do for me. I kind of got stuck on dreaming bigger. And then once I started dreaming bigger, oh, I want to pay off my car. Oh, I want to buy this, or I want to do this. I want to set up funds for my kids. Like, I want to be debt free. Once I started dreaming like beyond things that I never, ever, ever thought were possible, like things started changing in my business, in my life, like all of the things. Okay, so you have to make the decision right now, if you haven't already, to completely jump in and be 100%. And then the last quote, and then a couple other quotes that I thought were like super, super good. And just because they all kind of follow suit with each other, the 10X rule is all about doing more than the average if you want to be more than average. a lot of us on here want to be more than average, you guys. I don't want to be a triple diamond forever. I want to be a black diamond one day. I want to go ambassador diamond in February. Like, I have my whole vision cast in front of me, and I know where I'm going, and I know what I want. And so you have to do the same for you to know, like, what do you want out of this business? Where do you want to go? If you don't know, if you don't have a chart in front of you, I am so far from ambassador, you guys, but you better believe I have a chart out. It's printed. It's ugly. It's empty, but it's out, okay? So my prize chart, my ambassador chart, they're out. And that is how you see the vision, and you see, okay, this is what I need. This is my plan. This is my, whatever, my path. So having that, and the average person can talk about it, but if you actually take the steps into doing it, into actually making your plan, the average person doesn't do that. They're just all talk and no action, no follow-up. And that's where they stay where they're at, and they stay being a talker. We want to be the ones that, like, say we're going to do something, and then we do it, and then once our followers see that, they're going to follow suit, and they're going to say, hey, she said she wanted to pay off her debt. She paid off her debt. Doesn't matter how long it takes us. Okay, so the quote that I was reading was, I suggest that you become obsessed about the things you want. Otherwise, you're going to spend a lifetime being obsessed with making up excuses as to why you didn't get the life you wanted. Okay, that quote hit the nail on the head. It's literally like basically telling you it's your fault if you don't get the life you want, if you talk about it so many times, if you don't make it happen, and if you don't do something about it. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that book, or if you have ever even heard of Grant Cardone, but you guys really need to get the book. The book on Amazon's a lot cheaper than it is in store, and it's so good. And so the last thing I just want to kind of like remind you guys and wrap you up with before I have to go feed this little munchkin is that I just feel like sometimes in this business, it's hard to bounce back when you have a couple of hard months. And sometimes the summer was rough for a lot of us, but this is the fall, and we have so many amazing things out right now, you guys. The incentive trip, we all better be on that. There's 300 spots. There's 54 of us on here. Like, we better all have a spot on that trip. And that will mean that we are working our business so hard now. And if we worked our business so hard now through the end of October and November, you guys, December, January, February, March of next year, we're literally paving the way for the next like 5 to 6 months in our business. What we do now and in October is literally going to pave the way for the next 5 to 6 months in our business. And how bad would it be to look back and say, wow, I didn't do anything in those months when everyone kept saying, oh, that like now is the time to do something, like now is the time. And you're gonna look back and you're gonna look at everyone else having like all this success and hitting these crazy promotions, and you're gonna say, why not me? Like, why is that not me? Well, it's because you didn't put in the work when it was time. You know what I mean? And so just don't be that person is what I'm trying to say. Make sure that summer came to an end. It's officially fall. We have our coffee. We have all these different things. The bonuses and the promotions that they give us are given to us to kind of like buy us time to build our businesses to the maximum. So take it and run with it, you guys. Take it and run with it, and make sure that you don't sleep on the season that we're in, because the season we're in is literally like no other. It's so on fire if we want it to be. If we tell ourselves, oh, it's slow season, it's going to be a slow season, and it's totally not. Like, if you my e-suite is jumping. And so I feel like everyone could be super successful in the season we're in. I don't know if Jill or Bethany have anything else to add.
No, I'm good. Just make sure you guys jump on the family call. I think they're going to be doing another announcement tonight. So that's really it.
Yeah, there's going to be a huge announcement. So in like 14 minutes, family call. And I guess
cool. You guys, this was literally amazing. I love you all so much.
Can I add one thing really quick?
Yeah.
A tip for distributors. So this week, I sent out a message. I can send it in the chat really quick. It was on somebody's Zoom. I don't remember who. It was a power hour. And it was just reaching out to all my old people that did host a post for me. And if I can find it, I'll post it in here. It's just basically, hey, I just wanted to send you a message and thank you for doing a post for me last month. And I just wanted to reach out and see if you'd ever had like an interest in doing this with me. And I had 13 conversations with people on Monday or Tuesday. And they were all like conversations that they wanted to join the team. They're ready. There's 2 of them that are supposed to sign up this upcoming Friday. And some other one they're finding money and they're just like trying to figure out ways that they can do it. But send that out to people who've done host for you in the past. Like, don't be scared to do that. If they've posted for you already, they might want to be part of the team. They can make money off of that. It's super easy. So just want to throw that out there. I have so many potential distributors this month already, and it's only the first week. So good tip for building your team.
No, I love that. And you actually reminded me, now that she's like relaxed and in nursing, I do want to give one more tip. So back to what Chanel said about reaching out to her viewers. If you guys were, I don't know if any of you were on the Power Hour we did on the 2nd, but the 2nd was the day before I had my daughter. So I worked up until that point, you guys, and my phone the next day was literally like, while I'm in labor, I keep getting messages about pumpkin spice coffee, wanting to try it, more info. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the worst time to be blown up right now. I can't focus. And so I've been working on getting back to those people. But when I sat down and literally took, I think it was like 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, because on Instagram I have like 500 to 600 viewers on my stories. And that's just like from being consistent. But I took the time to go through all of the viewers and message, just like Chanel did, but I messaged like for products. And so I put up a couple slides of pumpkin spice coffee, and I went to the very last one. If they had made it through all 3, maybe they meant to make it through all 3, or maybe they were just scrolling through, but they were getting a message from me regardless. And so I just swiped up and started from the bottom and worked my way up and messaged so many people about the coffee. Very simple message. Hey girl, saw you view my story about our pumpkin spice coffee. It's literally so good. Do you want more info? And you would not believe the amount of messages that I've gotten from Instagram, and I did it through Facebook too, of people saying, yes, oh my gosh, or no, I'm not really a pumpkin person. And I'm like, okay, if you're not a pumpkin person, well, we have other flavors. We have XYZ that you would probably like too, or whatever they said. I came back with a response of, you would probably like this more than, if you don't want the pumpkin spice coffee, you might like something else we have more. And so just giving them a second option, not taking no for an answer, basically. Some people that said they didn't like coffee, you could offer them another product. So don't think that if you do send out messages that someone viewed your story or someone voted on a poll and they say no to you about that one product, that you can't offer them something else, or you can't change the conversation to something else. So I just wanted to throw that in there before we hop off, because messaging the people that viewed your stories, I used to be so hesitant about that because I didn't want to be the one sending the cold messages or the one doing, whatever, if I hadn't ever talked to someone. But people are so nice for the most part, and who cares if they're not nice to you? Like, whatever, just send the message out, because not everyone is going to come to you and say, take me a second to find this person. Okay. Anyway, so not everyone is going to come to you and saying, hey, I'm interested in this product, or hey, I want to be in this business, or whatever. So just make sure you're reaching out to them. That's my point. So that's all I wanted to say. And if you do that, every 2 to 3 times a week, I wouldn't do it every single day. There we go. Okay, sorry. I wouldn't do it every single day, but 2 to 3 times a week of messaging the people that viewed your stories, you're going to start to make relationships with them. If you've messaged them a couple of days before and they didn't respond, you could always message them something else, like, hey, I hope you are having a good day, where you can compliment them on their page, go to their profile, comment on a picture, that sort of thing. So that's all I have to say now. I love you guys. I'll post the recording as long as I don't think you guys have anything else to add. Make sure you guys are on the family call in 9 minutes, okay? There's going to be a big announcement